I'm Michael Rhodes, Parks and Recreation Director, and I want to thank the TDC committee members for your time and consideration, and of course thank you Ray Palmer at Pensacola Sports for his continued hard work and enthusiasm in trying to bring this project to a true reality. I hope you've received the presentation in advance electronically. I did put them up on the dais, and I'm not going to read the PowerPoint verbatim. I'll look to go through it on bullet points, if that's okay with you. In 2023, we followed and went through the county procurement process to a T, and we hired Convergence Design, which partnered with Crossroads Consulting, both leaders in the sports marketing and study field. The study really got rolling in the start of 2024 and is wrapping up at this point, culminating. As noted in the study and recap, this market in Escambia County and this region will absolutely support the needs of indoor sports facility and facility hosting multiple types of events. As you all know, and I grew up here, went to the University of West Florida, the University of West Florida is the only true competitive indoor sports facility of its type. The University of West Florida is a growing university. Its priority is the students, as it should be. It's very tough to get space, and we're great partners with the University of West Florida. But the bottom line is it's tough to get indoor event space at University of West Florida. And I want to reiterate, they're great partners of ours, and we've worked hand in hand with them through this study. You'll hear me say this several times in my short presentation. Brosnaham Park is a county-owned facility. It's a great facility. Brosnaham Park is county-owned. It currently has 13 lit soccer fields. It's home to major soccer events in the youth sports world. It's also home to the NAIA National Championship this coming up November, and it's also hosted 2 SEC Women's Soccer Championships with a third to follow in late October into November. What does this demonstrate? Folks like coming to Escambia County for the sports. It demonstrates people like Brosnaham Park. As I said, I grew up here. Long ago, Brosnaham Park out in that region in Cantonment may have been thought of as a little far out. The truth of the matter is Brosnaham Park is not far out anymore. It's in the hub of Escambia County. It's a major corridor out in the Highway 29 9-mile road area with plenty of hotels, which will be covered later in the presentation. Again, it's a hub of youth sports, and you might hear that again later in my presentation as well. It's a tried and proven location. It doesn't get any better than the SEC. And again, we're willing to grow that, and we want to grow that and make that the true destination of sports in Escambia County, which we feel it's already on its way. Key points, as I want to again reiterate, Brosnaham is county owned. It's a 14-acre. We have 14 acres on this property that's open, flat, and undeveloped. The undeveloped flat portion, we did the studies and working with Convergence. We feel that a 100,000 square foot building with 73,000 square feet of open column-free floor space compatible for sports events, expos, special events, and various diverse events will fit the bill for this type footprint. Again, it's 14 acres of open flat land that the county owns currently, already zoned for recreation, another key point. Also built into that.
Did you say 173,000 square feet?
No, sir. 100,000 square foot would be what would work into this facility on the 14 acres, with 73,000. I apologize. 73,000 square feet of open downstairs floor space, column free, open to floor. Another key.
Mike, real quick, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but how many people could you put in that facility?
I don't have that number right in front of me, but I will say, when you talk about teams, I don't have a capacity of exactly how many folks.
I'm thinking more about cars in the neighborhood.
That was my next line, actually. One key component on this 14 acres, when we talk about how big the building is going to be, 700 plus parking spaces is in the current design. Okay. Again, that was my next line, Mr. Rivera, is 700 paved parking spaces. As I've been across a lot of these facilities in the Southeast with my own sons, parking can be a challenge. 700 paved parking spaces with the obviously some extra parking space as well, but the 700 paved parking spots is a very, very key in this situation. I appreciate that question. Again, it would have 8 full court basketball courts that can be transformed into 16 hard court volleyball courts. Hardwood has been recommended in this study for longevity and maintenance, and it transforms into open floor space for expos and various other activities as well. Don't want to take Ray's thunder when I turn it back to him. These type of events in our study are estimated to potentially generate an annual economic impact of up to $37 million or more per year. Moving forward in the presentation, let's see here. When we started this back in January, we again met with many stakeholders across the area, to include University of West Florida, Pensacola State College, other youth stakeholders in the area, and one major stakeholder, as they are neighbors of ours on this property, the Escambia County School District. Why the school district is so important, because as you come into this facility, there are 3 schools on Ashton Brosnaham Road, great partners. This type of facility will benefit the Escambia County students, not only those 3 schools on that road, but open floor space for recreation and sports activities is always challenging in the school system. This will be a win-win. We have had discussions with Mr. Leonard and his team early on in this process about, could we possibly transverse school board property on a second road entry into this facility, so you have 2 options for ingress and egress, and they were more than supportive. It will be a win-win for the school, and of course the soccer will also benefit, because you will then have the potential to have 2 entries and exits to the facility moving forward. Again, a win-win and a great partner moving forward for the community. Not just for events, but for classes such as PE, youth basketball that is played at middle schools when they need extra space. As you all know, it's a challenge across the community, indoor sports. Challenges were also identified, and strengths. Challenges that were quickly identified was the traffic. That's why we met with the school board initially. Other challenges, competition in regional facilities such as Foley. Funding for construction is a challenge with inflation and price going up. Again, I feel we turned into these potential challenges into a positive in meeting with Mr. Leonard and the school board early on, because we feel this can be a great benefit to the school system and also eliminate some possible traffic concerns to our soccer programs and possibly even the school. Again, turning this possible challenge into a positive. Again, we have great partners across the board of this. There's strong demand from local sports groups, new economic impacts, new markets to tap into. There's very active local sports programs here that are dying to have indoor sports more than just a few facilities they're currently at. There's an opportunity to fill gaps in the current inventory. And again, one thing that was quickly pointed out when Convergence started their study is the great relationships that's already in place with Pensacola Sports along with Visit Pensacola. Again, several site plans were studied when this process started. Nothing is in stone on the exact layout of the facility. Again, it is estimated that a 100,000 square foot facility will fit into this footprint of approximately 14 acres, but nothing is in stone. We did do several charrettes that had several different building concepts, but nothing is in stone of the exact layout. Open common area in the facility. Open common areas, and this was a challenge. What would go in there besides the basketball courts and the volleyball courts? Open common areas would include meeting spaces, viewing areas, restrooms, plenty of vendor space, concession or retail areas if needed. And one pretty cool aspect, if you've ever been to Olive Baptist Church, a second floor walking track and viewing area to see your child or grandkids play, but also to be open to the public on various dates for walking and general activity and in recreation. That was a big deal when we did this. We certainly realize this is a tourism-driven model, but at the same time, we have to be successful in meeting the need of our community needs for this to make this work and get full support from our community. The bottom line is that we have to have community support, so there will be plenty of aspects for recreation for the local kids in the area, the adults in the area, or folks just wanting to exercise and stay healthy. Very important, and I do not want to overlook this. Traffic was a major concern. I want to touch on that one last time, and that was something that we needed to address, and we feel that we're well on our way in meeting with the school board on the option to traverse their property behind their schools and create another access point. All right. Again, I'm going to turn it back over to Ray in just a minute because I definitely want him to mention and get into the economic impact in the room night aspect. But I really want to emphasize, again, Brosnaham Park being the county-owned park, undeveloped. We own it. It's not like we're having to go search for property and then bring in millions of dollars of fill dirt to make it flat so we can build on it. This is something that is ready to roll. It's something we have. It's in a growing area in our community. Many years ago, as I mentioned, this may not have been the ideal location. We feel today it is the perfect location. It's a major hub for sports. The SEC is coming back this year, and we're looking to extend a contract with them moving forward. Brosnaham Youth Soccer already has 700 to 800 kids annually playing soccer out there, and that's not going away. The possible addition of a premier indoor sports facility would only create more diverse type opportunities at this facility and certainly create more economic impact through the events that we would be able to bring in. We do realize a project of this magnitude is very expensive. We would respectfully request the support from the TDC committee and your support to the Board of County Commissioners moving forward, in which I know Mr. Hall will talk about some of those funding possibilities moving forward. But in closing, in my portion of this presentation, I really want to emphasize this project can be a win-win for everybody, the retail in the community, the restaurants in the community, and also the local citizens in the area. And this is something that will stand the test of time, we feel, long after I'm gone, as far as in this position, but moving forward for our kids and their kids. Again, it's something we don't have. UWF is fully tapped. Our competitors to our west are kicking it pretty good in Foley and east around Panama City. We have a chance here to really hit a grand slam. I really, truly feel that. Mr. Palmer, Ray, my good friend Ray, has worked his tail off. The study showed what, frankly, we expected it would show. It just confirmed what our thoughts would be. Again, I really would truly appreciate your support moving forward and your support for us for the Board of County Commissioners. And I appreciate your time. We'll be here at the end to answer any questions we may be able to answer. And at this time, I'll turn it back over to Ray.